naturally becomes good, and that's exactly what Team Malaysia has. And looking at this draft, I'm actually a little bit concerned for our host country team because you do not have very good late game scaling. You're actually depending on CC for that as a fighter. So you cannot allow this game to last too long or Team Argentina just naturally outscales you.
Pressure-wise, definitely will be given out straight away to Team Malaysia right now as the draft. But then again, if they can actually make a good control and their own motion here against Team Argentina, then things around could be decided here by themselves. But then again, Argentina so far looking at their own draft, they're actually having a better control, having a really good initiation, especially with the fact that the burst damage coming along with Xbox as well as Kimi. But unfortunately, on the side of Malaysia, hopefully if they have the opportunity to actually control that damage, it might go into their favor. But again, welcome to WEC 2025, everyone. This is the last lower bracket quarterfinals. They need to prove themselves to survive here at the WEC 2025. Give it up to Malaysia versus Argentina.
And they're already trading blows a little bit here in the mid lane. We can expect to see an enhanced aggression overall this game because both sides actually have a pretty strong level 3, level 4 power spike. First turtle is 100% going to be quite chaotic. And Team Malaysia are the ones that need to be setting the tempo. Again, playing multiple fighters means that their late game scaling is going to be lacking, especially since they have a Kagura versus a Kimi, with Naval even going for Weakness Finder to set up for that scaling. This X-Borg as well is going to be a big issue, and I'm hoping to see a little bit more focus from Malaysia onto the gold lane to make sure that Riza cannot start building up a snowball.
And a lot of pressure coming in, even Fafao trying to actually do a little bit of extension. But again, they need to have a safe space. It's a rabbit put out with the mighty swing. Miyuki shuts down Honey immediately.
Yeah, but then that's the concern, right? Team Malaysia is going to be scattered quite a bit in order to make things happen on the side lanes, and that means it leaves the mid lane kind of uncontested. Kimi actually clears wave a little bit faster than Kagura as well. So Hani's not going to have an easy time. Her job this entire game is actually going to land the yin-yang overturn combo on either Miyuki or Naval. Not an easy job to do, especially since it is going to be very cooldown based.
This is really difficult coming in right now. Miyuki being got it off right there, but instantly they come through with the side of this final slash. They did manage to sweep up a little bit, but miss coming in right now. Honey comes through. They do over attack to the side of Miyuki.
Miyuki's positioning a little bit off there for the side of Team Argentina, putting herself in the most vulnerable place out of everyone as the jungler. Means that Team Malaysia will get their first turtle for absolutely free.
At least a really good counter coming out from Team Malaysia, and they want more. A little bit comes through with the side of Rina, just diving to Neo.
Excellent timing with the iframes right there. Actually popping into the Ogi Shadow kill right before the final slash guaranteed that. And that is what Malaysia needs to keep doing. They have a good pick-off composition, and their heroes are largely independent, which means that they can take out isolated targets. They've already helped Sha win out her lane a little bit more effectively. That means that the Fovea shouldn't have much issue against the Arlet anymore. Their next step should be giving Fafao a hand, because if this CC can be unlocked and this X4 can be slowed down, Team Malaysia buys themselves a lot more time despite not having as good scaling.
Loving the fact how Yuki is just roaming around, rotating, trying to find a way to actually have the help that is needed to the side of Fafao itself. And this is required for Team Malaysia to just counter it all off, to make sure that not much of invasive equation can be done by Team Argentina. No matter how much they did manage to have a really good composition, Team Malaysia can cancel it out.
As long as they can continue that trend, it should be looking quite good for them. But despite the mistakes that have been made so far, Team Argentina still in a very good spot.
And the movement right now with the mighty swing miss takes down Yuki immediately. The Glory Pathway could not do anything to survive it out. Again, this is 2-for-2 for Malaysia versus Argentina. Time is ticking. Team Malaysia has the answer, but it's still not going to be enough though.
It's still not quite going to be enough. As we already mentioned, Team Malaysia needs to make something happen.
Last Insanity comes in for the time. Going to break it out, but Fafao still survive it out. Going to reflect all the motion, but still Miyuki comes in and shuts down the side of the lane.
Really good aggression coming in here from Team Argentina so far. They're well aware of the fact that Team Malaysia needs early mid-game momentum to remain relevant in this game. And if they can target down even one of these side lanes, then the game becomes a lot more difficult for their opponents. We already mentioned that this X-Borg is going to be a big issue once we get into the later stages because Malaysia just has so many frontliners.
A lot of frontliners, a lot of the burst damage coming in as well. Great combination to the side of Last Insanity as well as the diving on the side of Miyuki. That's where the fine line that Malaysia, they can't actually allow that gank comes through. So they have to actually have a good rotation coming in. Even so, with Miz just roaming around, giving a lot of support from the mid lane as well. But Yuki comes in right now, gonna actually step ahead right here to give so much pressure to Riza. But not to worry, Riza, with the Firaga armor in the hands, still be surviving it out.
All right, they need to play it safe right now. Team Malaysia should be aware that Team Argentina is trying to take the fight to them, trying to keep it aggressive. And even though they had initially set themselves quite well, Miyuki as well as Neval are actually picking up assists, starting to get some farm, and that is a bit of an issue. I again pointed out why Team Malaysia needed to give a little bit more assistance towards the gold lane, and I'm still not really seeing it.
Not seeing it either, and the fact that right now Rina having a lot of pressure, had to move away immediately with their own shadow clones, and somehow right now Team Argentina finding a way to just bully them on their own side lane, and this is the pressure they want to put onto Team Malaysia to a point that they cannot move around freely.
I was already a bit concerned when looking at this draft. Team Malaysia has good rundown composition, but export counters.
Oh, takes down the charge comes through. Two players comes in. Neval takes down Yuki as well as Josh is down by Neo herself. And now moving along, 3 players to survive it out. It seems that Rina at least gets the free turret herself right here at the top. The split push that's done by Malaysia can actually have a little bit of neutralization.
Team Malaysia is going to need to commit to some sacrificial play at this point. You actually do have to trade space on the map just to try and find something else. Trade bodies to make things happen because Team Argentina is actually starting to hit their power spike already.
The fact that right now it's going to be that shadow kill who doesn't actually go through, doesn't have enough power to actually base out. Rina will be immediately shut down by Miz, especially with the last insanity come through. Now coming in with the Ultra Rapid just to pull down the team of Malaysia, they had to pull away.
The decision-making is starting to look a little bit messy there. Rina tried to go in for the backline burst, which is respectable, but then didn't actually leave herself a way to get back out. So that's really awkward for the Hayabusa, considering that you're basically diving into the entire enemy team. The goal lead is now 2.6k in favor of Team Argentina at 7 minutes. That is actually fairly notable, but not quite at the range yet where the game is over. So Team Malaysia, if they can continue playing this carefully going forward, still have a chance, while Team Argentina can just keep doing what they're doing, basically.
They are doing well. They can just commit to what they have already, mess things around, making a little bit of separation for the teams of Malaysia. And even the Rapid decided go for the tech design. Shaw will immediately shut down by Riza herself, but at the same time, Gurubaway will be put out. Rina takes down Riza immediately with the shadow kill by Yuki, surviving it out, trying to make a little bit of space so that Malaysia can come through.
And that's not too bad, actually. That ends up being an EXP4 gold lane trade. Rina able to find a nice angle to come in and get the execute off on the X-Borg. They will probably give up on this turtle, but we can see that Fao is going for the top tower instead. And that is exactly what Team Malaysia needs to be doing right now. They're not in a position where they can directly contest team fight-wise, so trade for objectives instead. Go for the macro game.
The fact that we are seeing now a different kind of phase from the side of Team Malaysia. Previously started out with day number 1, Team Malaysia prioritized all the macro gamings, all the team fights always sticking together, but now they know for a fact that strategy will not suffice. So they need to pull all stunts to make sure that they can divide all the attentive of Team Argentina. Goal difference-wise still goes up to Team Argentina to get the upper hand, but it's not much that can actually be done here as long as they can control the motion.
As long as they continue controlling the map, Team Argentina should be absolutely fine. They just need to make sure that their backline isn't going to be too vulnerable for the Hayabusa at any point. Team Malaysia, again, still got to stick to more independent gameplay. If you got to throw bodies to get a tower on the opposite side of the map, they should be willing to do it.
Tectonic charge comes in. Honey managed to go away. Even if the Rapid does manage to actually move her more to the side of area. And now going in for the shadow kill. Doesn't catch up anyone. Rina doesn't manage to actually go in. Final slash comes through, but it does manage to go in. Now Shah coming in with the Inferno Brussel. Doesn't get the lead and end up being the sacrifice for Miyuki.
Oh, that's that's a little bit unfortunate there. So many members of Team Argentina were so low on HP, but the damage from Team Malaysia is just not scaling well enough. And this is the issue about not having some kind of marksman or late game scaling hero. They're very dependent on cooldowns, very dependent on the right conditions for these fighters to actually output their DPS. And while the angle was good coming in, the Ogi Shadow kill split up across too many targets. And Team Malaysia weren't able to get anything out of that trade.
Where the rapid put out, just gonna deny even more. Yuki, this is just a downfall for Nival to get that kill immediately because of the overextension. And now Team Malaysia getting punished by bits and even deny Papa as well. Had to move away quickly as possible to save the day.
Team Argentina is now starting to ramp up the aggression a little bit more. They recognize their position in the game. They recognize that they are in a very comfortable spot with this 4K lead. And Team Malaysia isn't very good at scaling. Again, a really big issue in the draft that I'm kind of surprised got through to the game. You can see Rina still trying to contest this, hiding in the bush behind. But Argentina is holding a really tight grasp over the river right now.
All the objectives are more definitely dominant to the side of Argentina. This Lord Dance is just roaming around in the hands of Team Argentina. Unless Malaysia have something to say about it to get to that loophole, they are required to actually search anyone they can actually grab onto. At the moment right now, we are seeing a little bit of crucial state for Team Malaysia as Honey just trying to tease out Miyuki first of all. Zerapin been put out just to actually divide them each other out. So this is actually a little bit of discipline, respect coming in from both teams.
Now, I do think that Team Malaysia should send someone down to the bot lane. They should be able to get a pretty free tier 1 for it, but they're also going to be a bit hesitant to show too far on the opposite side of the map, because once Argentina knows that Malaysia doesn't have all 5 members around the Lord Pit, then they're just going to try and commit to blitzing it. Serena is trying to set up for the split push down there, but the moment this Hayabusa shows, Argentina is going to go for it, and we can see that Team Malaysia not really willing to take that trade right now. They still ideally want to be able to 50-50 the Lord.
Let's see. Fao just doing a goal pathway been put out by Yuki. Try to do a rotation, but unfortunately that is going to be a lot coming in from Miyuki. Fao takes out Miyuki for the trade, but at the same time, Neval had to pull away. All the basics that doesn't come through, but Infinite Pursuit doesn't catch up anyone by Shah. And in the end, right now, that last Insanity bursting down for the side of Fao instead. And now Honey comes in for Neval, but is it going to be enough though? Shadow Chaos comes in, doesn't get the last hit, and in the end, right now, Argentina find a slash, going in for the sweep. Can they make it through? They're trying to make sure they can get all the trades. Neo will be shut down by Shah with a 3-piece in the hands of Malaysia.
That ends up being a positive trade from Malaysia, actually trading 2 for 3 and the Lord. They should be able to defend this, though that tier 2 mid is going to take some unfortunate damage. They were able to dive straight into the backline and take out the squishier members by scattering Team Argentina. That is the way that Team Malaysia actually needs to be taking these fights. They cannot be grouping together because that just sets up too much AoE control for Riza. They gotta take him out one by one. The more chaotic they can make the match, the more effective it is going to be for them. But at the same time, they still cannot allow the game to last too long because the scaling is still going to be an issue.
Yeah, and the fact that there's a lot of answers that's already been taken by Team Malaysia. A lot of options, a lot of things that they have already done to make sure they can counter with Team Argentina. But it's not going to be enough though. The gap from the economy-wise, even from the kills-wise, we are seeing Argentina coming on top first of all. So still, there's a lot of things to be done to redeem themselves. And coming into the item builds, I feel like this is pretty much, we see the vast difference because of the economy-wise, right?
Yeah, these are pretty standard builds already. Naval already having that Sky Piercer as well. Luckily for Team Malaysia, probably doesn't have too many stacks on it just yet. I do think that Hani is going to need to commit to a Lightning Trunky, and potentially they're going for the Glowing Wand to have that anti-heal and to help burn down some of the tankier frontliners. But this Kagura does need to be in charge of just bursting the Kimi most of the time. So having items that can support that would be more ideal. I do like the Winter Crown though, being built by Shah right now, knowing that she is the main front line for Malaysia, and the more time that she can buy, the easier it'll be for the rest of her teammates.
Let's see. This is going to be 40 seconds for the Lord to actually spawn out. So far, Team Malaysia just looking an eye, keeping an eye out for every movement that is put out by Team Argentina. Damage-wise, we are seeing at least Shah is up against the Alat side on their side lane is actually 33.1k. She has potential to give so much damage. She will be able to actually do a little bit of maneuvering on every single counter that Argentina put out. But still, it's not going to be enough if it's messy for all the position that is put out by Team Malaysia.
Yeah, Team Malaysia wants the positions to be messy when it comes to team fights. Team Argentina ideally wants to take them on their own terms instead. So there's going to be a bit of back and forth in terms of positioning there, where both sides need to find their ideal angle. I think Riza, especially on the side of Argentina, also needs to be a little less trigger happy on the last Insanity. We've seen a lot of Xborg players so far in this competition use the last Insanity a little bit too early. It does do good damage, but you need that HP.
And now coming in for the Glory Pathway, Tectonic Charge comes through, gets shot first of all, with the last Insanity bursting down. Papa gets nailed first of all for the back but at the same time right here, Yuki will be the sacrificial, but she still survived with the immortality. Now gonna stun out Miyuki right at the back line. Unfortunately, we're able to take down Yuki as well, but at the same time right here, we do see Papa shuts down with Hani being traded out by Miyuki. This lot is still open, but a really good composure coming in from Team Malaysia.
Yeah, and they're still gonna be continuing this up. They're gonna try and punish Miyuki for going very far back, but now it's a 1v3. Shah gonna go down. Killing spree for the Xborg.
Last Insanity, great response-wise, and Rina unfortunately caught off guard. Did manage to take down Miyuki by Fafao there, but at the same time right here, we do see massive defense coming in from Team Malaysia.
It ends up being actually kind of positive for Team Malaysia. Not quite enough damage. Rina still needs a little bit more stack Sky Piercer-wise. Not actually sure if she even has the item. But you can see that Malaysia was able to create some havoc there. They are basically in a position where, okay, we do have to sacrifice our front line a little bit just to find the right timing to enter the back. Fao as well as Rina are playing very important roles here because they are the best people to melt down targets like Miyuki and Neval. And if they can take them out of the fight, it does become a lot easier. Riza as well.
Ignition been poured out by Riza. They're trying to do a lot. Giants, the Glory Pathway been put out right here, but at the same time, Mighty Swing comes in. Can they actually pull through? Inferno Pursuit comes in, drag with the Dark Wave, but at the same time, it's going to be a lot in the hands of Argentina. Shuts down Fafao by Riza itself, and this is going to be Malaysia trying to do some damage, trying to do a dealer. At least they can trade it out by Riza, running away for a dealer, but they will have a backup. So Malaysia had to step down just a little bit, making sure that they have enough space for the lot to come in.
And that, I think, is a very good visual indication of the difference that positioning is going to make here. Because that time around, Argentina were able to just all group up in front of the Lord Pit. Because of that, the damage wasn't really able to come through. They were able to melt down the members of Malaysia. I feel like once Fao was dropped down to 10% HP off of the last Insanity, Malaysia should have decided not to go for it.
Oh, Shadow Kill, not enough. Does manage to take Yuki though, but at the same time, can she survive without Rina? Unfortunately, will be traded out by Riza itself. Now it's going to be 4-4 right here as the Lord marching in, goes into the top lane. They will be able to secure that inhibitor turret, but at the same time, Team Malaysia, this is opening a door even more for Argentina.
Argentina are now officially in the driver's seat there. And Team Malaysia gonna pop the Glorious Pathway.
Tectonic Charge comes in, gets Yuki, but Yuki still managed to survive it out because of the Glory Pathway. So Malaysia still managed to actually counter it all.
The game is not over yet, but it is going to become very difficult for Team Malaysia. No matter what, they need to keep Fao alive. She is basically their marksman in this game because they don't have any other source of consistent DPS output. If everyone else needs to sacrifice themselves for this CC to remain relevant, they have to just do it because Argentina are going to outdamage them no matter what. You gotta take out Naval, you gotta take out Riza, you gotta distract Miyuki if possible. Those are the tickets to victory for Team Malaysia. And as long as Team Argentina doesn't fall for that sort of play, they have a straight line to victory here.
And the fact that right now they're picking off one after another, and this is what required for Team Malaysia. They know they have to actually divide to conquer. Somehow right here with the Wintergong comes in, they still manage to survive it out, goes in for the Glory Pathway, stoles it out, but at the same time right here, Hani takes down Miyuki immediately with the last Insanity, doesn't hit anyone at all. Now Neo gonna be actually sacrificed for the side of Team Malaysia, but at the same time they did manage to trade off with Fafao. Now coming in for the push, the Rapid as a division, but they denied completely. Rina comes in with a Shadow Kill, takes down Riza, just a little bit more Riza, you will not be able to survive it out. You still have that Piragama, will they deny it immediately? No! Honey as the last one to shut down Riza!
And there we go, that is the big big team fight victory that Team Malaysia had been looking for. Again, I feel like they could have put a little bit more resource into making sure that Fao could survive. But Fao did an incredible job of avoiding being picked off at the very beginning thanks to their Winter Crown and actually distracting Team Argentina despite being the main core. That allowed the fight to last long enough for Team Malaysia to take control.
No, Tectonic Charge gets Shah and Yuki as well, but still, that Glory Pathway surviving it out, especially with the revitalization, still managed to actually have them to be surviving. But Hani comes along, shuts down Nival, giving more opportunity for Team Malaysia.
Hani now starting to stand out a little bit as the MVP there. We see the Wishing Lantern already complete as well. So trying to go for a more universal damage draft, not actually just targeting the Kimmy, but also attempting to help contribute to whittling down heroes like Miz and Neo. They're now working on the Lord. Argentina sees this. Can they contest?
Putting out the Earthen Rampage, but they're denying it. Glory Fire has been put out by Miyuki. They're now coming in right now. They're surviving out. They will be able to secure this lot, denying Miyuki to come in. Shuts down by Rina. Last Insanity to use as escape mechanism, and Argentina backs off.
Really good attempt there by Argentina. But Miyuki was the only one that could actually break through the front line. And if you're the only one going through, you are going to be the main target. The Lord knockup, also very lucky in favor of Team Malaysia, getting the hit onto the Suyo right around the retribution timing. So with that, Team Malaysia now has a Lord pushing in. They have actually managed to reverse the situation despite not having a proper late game marksman and handling an export. Team Argentina have to be more careful. They need to be taking these fights slower and respecting the dive potential of their opponents.
Let's see if this dive can be happening right now as the Glory Pathway been up right here as Earthen Rapid also to divide it out. But still, this turret will be shut down immediately by the players of Malaysia. Coming in right now, they will be able to secure another turret for the mid lane as well. And they're pushing it. Not only that, bottom also will be secured for the team of Team Malaysia. And they know they're coming in to break down all of the defense mechanism for Team Argentina. But that's going to be enough for them to at least push a lot of pressure into Argentina.
That is basically perfect wave syncing coming in from Team Malaysia. The management was on point and perfectly timed to make sure that they could take every single inhibitor off of a single Lord push. We are now 21 minutes into the game. The goal difference is not too big and the impact of it is not too notable anymore, since by now most of the core heroes are going to be hitting full item builds. It does just come down to execution and composure, and Team Malaysia has given themselves a lot more breathing room now that both of the bases are basically empty. Team Argentina can still turn this around, but they have to be aware of the fact that certain heroes have dropped off in functionality and they have to play to preserve Neval and Riza. Riza, again, especially, needs to stop spending last Insanity too early into the fight.
And seeing how the team of Malaysia wasting all of the skill stack first of all, that's going to be the initiation, the setup that is required for Team Malaysia. Despite, however, they had a little bit of rough start, now they're coming in for a little bit of good reset to counter Team Argentina. The lot coming in within 14 seconds. Somehow, they want to actually utilize every moment, every second so that they can actually have that diving or even divided attention right at the top. Somehow, they know for a fact they are going to require to go back to the crystal to deny any entrance coming in from the push of minion.
Yeah, I'm liking macro play now from Team Malaysia because of the waves being pushed up. Riza needs to be sent back to handle it. Malaysia knows that Team Argentina does not have their full 5-man available, and because of that, they can start working on this Lord a little bit. They should be aware that Miz is back there though, and it's still going to take some time to whittle it down without a marksman. So unfortunately, they're not able to blitz it just yet.
Yeah, and the fact that they're a little bit hesitant knowing for a fact Riza is coming to join the fight as well. So they are crucial on the timing right now. Poking a bit the side of the Lord right here and knowing for a fact, just waiting for Team Argentina to make that move. If they make that move, they counter it back for their reaction. But Traction Pulse comes in, does go for the stun for Shah, but then again, they still manage to survive it out. And still, this is just a poke, a tease from both sides. Yuki, Shah goes to the front line, looking for a way. Does they want to actually go for the setup, or they want to actually just wait out?
Look at the waves pushing into the base right now.
Yeah.
Riza has so much housekeeping to do, and Malaysia is aware of it. That's why they're going for the aggressive stance now. They're controlling the Lord Pit, invading into the jungle, forcing Team Argentina back.
Goes in for the Inferno Pursue, surviving it out, but now coming in for the Immortality. Shot takes down Miyuki. Neo barely surviving out, but Shadow Kill comes in. Mighty swing from the side of Miz, but Miz, you can't do anything. Rina now. Miyuki just making sure that all of the players for Team Malaysia was trying to fight them off. But in the end, right here, Neo is just being sorted out by Yuki all by herself. Final Slash comes in, doesn't have much damage, and coming along with Honey right here to burst the damage all the way, shuts down with a mega kill.
3 members of Team Argentina have now officially been taken off the board. This is a free Lord for Team Malaysia. And the waves are still pushing up. With Hani clearing up the mid lane, they can instantly transition from taking this into pushing into the base. There is still a 50-second death timer on Neo.
This is crucial timing for Team Malaysia. Great composition, great diving, as well as dividing motion and attention to a point that Argentina, they are faltering just a little bit. They had to make sure that their base is secure, but at the same time, they don't have enough players, enough power to fight out those team fights.
Right now, Team Malaysia are in the driver's seat, but they still have to be somewhat cautious. Their main goal is to take out the Kimi and the X-Borg. Once these two heroes are no longer in contention, it'll be a lot easier for them. And knowing that as well, if we're looking from the perspective of Team Argentina, those are the two players that they need to preserve at all costs. I feel like Riza is being used a bit too much as a frontliner rather than being known as a back DPS. The last Insanity needs to be held on for as long as possible to maximize it.
Goes in for the shadow kill just to mess things around, and Argentina are on the crystal side. But at the same time, right here, goes out for the last Insanity just a little bit too soon. But is it going to actually cost their life? Flora Power has been put out. Right here, Mighty Swing comes in from Miz. Miz will be shot down by Yuki immediately. Now leaving only 4 players. Shah comes in full along, still survive with the immortality, but the crystal will be in the hands of Team Malaysia.
A reverse